Hi there, it's Tracy here from the Papercraft Studio. Thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to make my Jar of Joy fun fold card. So this is how it stands up. That's how it looks from the side, and then it folds flat. Like that. So when the recipient gets it, they just pop it up on there. So let me show you the stamp set I'm using and the punch. So this punch originally it came as part of a bundle if you wanted it in a set called Sweet Jar. So you could buy the sweet jar and this punch, sorry, for £39.50 as a bundle. However, this Jar of Joy stamp set that Stampin' have brought out also coordinates with this. So the punch on its own is £25 and the stamp is £19. But it's so cute. Look at these little images on there. And it's lovely to have a punch. Oh, let's put that back in. Lovely to have a punch again, you know. So yeah, a good one to get, I think, and fun, especially if you've got grandchildren or children, or, you know, just for the child within. Okay, let me show you the supplies you need. So you need a piece of thick, basic white cardstock. This measures 5 3/4 by 8 inches. This is two-tone cardstock. You could use regular, but I wanted to get this effect, and I'll show you how I did that. So two-tone shaded spruce cardstock. This measures 5 1/2 inches by 1 3/4. A piece of this paper is from Elegant Pine Snowflakes Designer Series paper, which is an online exclusive. But how cute is that? And on this one, I've used the snowflakes. So this one measures, again, 5 1/2 inches by 1 3/4. For this background here, you'll need a piece of basic, real red cardstock. This measures 3 3/4 by 2 1/2 inches. And a piece of basic white cardstock. This measures 3 1/2 inches by 2 1/4 inches. And then you need some scrap basic white to stamp on for these two to punch out. Okay, so let's pop that there for a second. So anything else? Oh, the ribbon is, I think it's called Shiny Real Red Ribbon. That's an online exclusive as well. So I do love an online exclusive because, you know, some of my favorite products are on there. Okay, so on the long side of your cardstock, you want to score at 2 inches and at 4 inches. Okay, so you're going to fold that in half. Just find a bone folder. Getting ready for my classes, so I've got a ton of stuff everywhere. And then this one, open it back out and fold it in the same direction. So they're both going this way. Sometimes we fold back on ourselves, but both of them going this way. And that's how you get that little kind of tent shape. Okay. Oh, what I didn't show you was the embossing folder to get that effect. So this is, it's a hybrid embossing folder, which means it has dies that you get with the set. It's called Christmas Words. So you get all of these great little words. I'll just show you that one. You know, Happy Christmas, Holly Jolly, Merry Christmas, 'tis the season, good tidings, all of that. And then you also get this, these dies. So these will fit into the embossing folder and it will cut out those as well. So if you wanted, let me show you the catalogue here. This one's actually in the catalogue. So here, if you wanted these cut out in gold, you would just put the whole lot through, or a little section with gold foil. Here, I think they've braided. Oh no, they've used a dauber to daub some colour onto the embossing folder and then put it through, or maybe they've done the daubing after. You can brayer it. You can use a stamp pad on the raised side. So there's lots of things you can do with this. The dauber is actually a really nice idea, so I think they've cut that in basic white and then daubed. So yeah, so a handy one to have, and you can cut all of these at once. Right, let's go back. Okay, so on here, this one's going to fit down the bottom here with a little border all the way round. So let's go ahead, pop that one on. I love these pine, what do I call them? Snowflake pine something DSP. But I love this as well. It's kind of more frosted effect, isn't it, than this little snowflakes, or, you know, a blizzard. I think it's more frost. Okay, so with this one, we're going to run it through without the dies. This, and I picked up this bit here with Joy, Happy Christmas, because I wanted the little Christmas bit to show underneath. But you could choose anything, but just bear in mind, whatever you've got at the bottom will show more. So, yeah, I'm quite happy with that again, actually, to do that. So I'm coming this way a bit so I get the fa-la-la on this side. Okay, so I'm going to run that through the machine and I'll be right back. Okay, so you can see it's already started to take away some of that top layer, because with a two-tone cardstock, it's got a white core. So our regular cardstock has the colour all the way through. So if I emboss this, it'll be red, red, red. But on here, it's got the white core. So if you take a sanding block, or a piece of sandpaper, probably a nail file would it, and just rub gently over the top, and it will just take some of that off. And I thought it looked like little snow on top of the words. So I'm not going to go crazy because I don't want too much coming off, but I've probably worn this block out a bit. But yeah, it just takes a little bit of the colour off. So I've made a little bit of a mess there now, but I really like how that looks, and it looks really good on the real red. I couldn't decide which to do, but I went with this one in the end. Okay, so I'm going to now put that on that front layer, so then it will just hook up there when we come to that stage. I've chosen the lighter side of the shaded spruce, but again, that's a feature of two-tone cardstock. It is two-tone. Here we go. So it's great for coordinating on cards. And originally, I think probably was brought in for scrapbooking. Okay, so that looks cute. Right, let's stamp. I'm going to stamp our little jar here first. And then we're going to stamp and punch out the other two. Got all my stamps here ready for class. So we're going to stamp the gingerbread, the house. What's it called? It's not a house, it's a jar. Because I said gingerbread. I had it in my head that we were making a house. Okay, I've got my scrap as well here. So we need 3 jars. So I'm going to put this one a bit of an angle on here, and then I'm just going to put these straight on here. Okay, because we've used a jar for the greeting as well. Okay, so that's that one. So we're not going to punch that one out. Actually, while I've got the grey out, I'm going to stamp the snowman without my head getting in. And then let's change colours here. So with the gingerbread man, you have 2 stamps here. Where's the actual stamp set? I'll show you. So you have these 2. So one is the main stamp and one is more of a background. So I stamped the background first in Pecan Pie. So on one of these ones, that way up. And you've just got to eyeball it a bit to try and get it in the jar parameters. Easier when you're not trying to keep your head out of shot. Okay, and then with Crumb Cake, I'm going to use the other piece. The easiest way I found to do it was to line up his buttons with these buttons here, and then you can kind of gauge where to move it around for these other pieces to fit in. So for example, I've got the buttons there showing. This star shape looks like it was in shot there or in the right place. Everything else looks pretty good, so I'm going to go with that. There we go, cool. So that's what I use as a guide, his little his little buttons. Okay, and a Crumb Cake, it dries a bit lighter as well. Well, all the colours do, so it will dry more to this colour. Okay, 2 of those, and then the greeting, oops, I'm going to stamp in real red in this jar. And we could punch these out first before stamping things again. Don't want to get my head in. That's so cute. I love that it fits in the jar as well. Okay, so let's, while we're here, colour in our snowman. I'm using dark Real Red and light Pool Party. And then also for his scarf here, there's a little stamp, and it stamps his scarf and the little bit of his hat. It's this one here, so you can see a little bit of his hat and then the scarf. So I've stamped that in Coastal Cabana on here. This, I might need to get my head, I'm going to stand up. Because you need to line up the hat bit. And then I did some little snowflakes in Balmy Blue behind, or you could colour in first if you want to. I just wanted them to stand out a bit from the Pool Party that we're going to go over with in a minute. So cute. Actually, that's enough. I don't need any more. And then the light Pool Party, just going to pop a bit of colour behind here, just to make him stand out a little bit. He's so cute. And, you know, this doesn't have to be perfect, but of course, you can take more time, as always. And, you know, you can go over certain areas, make them a bit darker with the blends, and if you wanted a bit of tone in there, but I'm quite happy. It's just a little shaker dome. One more thing, we need a carrot for your nose. Okay, so just a little carrot nose, whichever orange you have. Cute. And then I just coloured in his little heart on here in Real Red. Just carefully with the blend because there's not a lot of space there. And finally, I just dotted in some orange. Really, I've got one of my older markers here. I was looking for one with the bullet journal point because that's actually better, but I can't see it on my desk at the moment. So just pop some eyes in, otherwise he looks a little bit creepy. Ooh. He's looking a bit like Kermit there for a minute. Okay, so that's all the bits here we need. So we're going to use the punch now. So you're just going to line it up here with the jar outline. Mind you, don't pinch yourself here, and just give it a squeeze, and the same with this one. Okay, so now we've got these on here. We also need to punch a Real Red jar because we're going to use it under here. There's a slight little bit of Real Red there, so just a plain jar. But then also I want to stamp, I could do it on here. I've already punched some for class ahead because we need, you know, four lids. So there's a little stamp for the lid, and again we're going to stamp in grey granite. You could stamp in black if you'd rather. I'm just going to go in between these bits because I know it fits with the punch. So I want 3 of those. That one looks a bit close. I might do another one. I mean, there's being thrifty and there's being thrifty, but I just thought, do you know what? I've got these strips from cutting, so I'm just going to use them. So line up the jar lid. So you'll need a longish piece so that you've got something to hold on to. So I tend to pin it in place and then push it. So I line it up, pin it, and then pinch. Okay, back in my box on that one. So, okay. Our little gingerbread, he's going to overlap here a little bit. And again, just off center. So I'm going to put some, oh, I didn't colour his background in. It just looks a bit nicer, I think. I love Pool Party. I'm not sure I was meant to go down that far with that. So I'm getting distracted. There we go. Nobody will know. Okay, so yes, he's going to go on there. So it will cover a little bit, but you can always go up a little bit. So I'm going to use some dimensionals on here. Okay, so maybe about 3 on the back. and then leave enough space for your jar to, for the lid to fit as well on here. I mean, I designed it so there was plenty of room, really. Go up a little bit. And then with the lids, this one I stuck down flat because he's flat. Now, make sure you've got the ones that are stamped, because the one that's not stamped we're going to use to prop this bit up in a minute. So let's pop that one on, little lid, cute. It's so adorable. And then this one we're going to put, if you've got mini dimensionals, that's great, but equally as good, this strip along the side, and you can use this with big dimensionals. You can just cut. So I'm actually going to cut quite a bit there because I want the 3 to come out of this. So this little edge is really good if you just want some little strips. Right, so one on the back of here. And if you see me, I've got my tongue out, you know, like you do when you're a child, when you're concentrating. So that one's going to go, I mean, you could have it just flipped up a little bit if you wanted, but just over there. Oh, it's just so cute. Right, where's our real red layer? That's going to, I'll put that on dimensionals as well. So when I design this to when I actually film, it's not always that close in time. So I don't always remember exactly if I use dimensionals or if I just stuck things flat. Okay, and this just centers in this one. I'm going to bring it to me a second. Oh, I just love that. That on a card in itself would just be great. And then for the base, where did I put my base? There it is. So we need something that's high enough to stop this falling down, okay? And one layer may not do the trick. Just while I'm here, actually, I'm going to cut my ribbon. Now, this will fray at the end. So a nice sharp cut, and then try not to touch it. And then what did I say? Was it 10 inches? I think. Sorry, covered my notes. 10 inches. Quite a lot of ribbon. Again on the diagonal. So one side's shiny and one side's a bit more matte. So I'm going to have more of the shiny side showing. And we're going to use glue dots to pin this in place. Pull one off with a pokey tool or take your pick tool. I want this one coming over the top like this. Now we need this fairly low down because we don't want too much of this white showing when we finally pop it all together. So I'm going to put that about there, and I'm just going to pull up that top layer and stick that there so we've got the ribbon, kind of the overlapped ribbon staying put, and then put a glue dot on this side as well, and then we can just pop it on there. Now with this one, just check what I did. Yeah, so I'm going to offset this slightly, and with dimensionals pop it on there. So I only want them kind of more to the left. When I flip it over, literally put them down 2 seconds ago. Where are they? Okay. So, I mean, I'm not putting it too far over anyway, so we don't need to worry too much. So just slightly offset to the right. And then again, we need it lifted more, so we're going to put more dimensionals on the bottom of this one. I might use 4 this time, because that really helps it all stay up and stay in place. So this one then, I'm going to put quite far down because, again, we need to fit the lid in, and we don't want the lid to be too far back. Ideally, I'd have this one longer than the other one, actually, but there we go. So you can see it will stay in place now, but we want a lid on the jar. So I've got the plain one here, and I've got the stamped one that's going to go on top. So again, oh, here's my little strip of dimensional. I'm going to put that on the plain one. And then I'm going to cut a little sort of half one here to go on the lid. A little bit fiddly. So about there. And then I'm going to stick this one on top. And then we're going to do exactly the same underneath. So our other strip, because we want it to be the same height as this one, let's take this other half, pop it, it's wider at the top of the little knob actually, spin it that way round. And then, oh, did I take the backing off that? No, that's why it's not picking up. And then we're going to just pop this in place on here. Cute. And then that's what's going to stop it from moving forward. This one I also put on with dimensionals. You could stick it flat with glue, but just bear in mind you don't want to come higher than that. And I wanted to see this Christmas underneath, so just have a look where you're going and then decide, okay, I don't need dimensionals any higher than that. Actually probably only need them along here. So peel these off. And like I say, I want to see that Christmas, but I also want it kind of centered side to side, about there. And if you find it's jumping up like this, put the whole thing down, give the back a bit of a push, and then it will hook on there. Ah, and to finish off, these are so pretty. They are called, oh, I'm trying to get them out without pulling them off. They are called Faceted Snowflakes. Are they online exclusive or in the catalogue? I can't quite remember. Anyway, I'll put them in the details below with all the products. So I'm just going to use a real red star. Let's use one of the smaller ones up here. And then one of the silver ones I'm going to pop down here just to sparkle. You could put it anywhere really, but I'm going to pop it there. So there you have it. I hope you enjoy making my Jar of Joy fun fold card. Take care, see you soon. Bye.